hello, guys. Today is December 21st, and I get all these emails I'm subscribed to, like what I'm going to talk about right now. This day in history. This day in history was PanAM Flight 103. If you remember, it was en route from London to New York, and it exploded midair over Scotland. It was believed to be an attack on America. Still believed to be an attack on America. And when I got the email, I thought, what's been going on with that? Like, we haven't heard about it in forever. I could be the only one not to know. That wouldn't be odd either. So anyway, I start looking into it, and well, some very significant things have been going on with it. Very significant things that haven't been brought to our attention. You guys have got to look at this clip with me. This is just a few days ago. They brought a suspect in court. Hang on.
It has been more than 3 decades since the bombing of PanAM Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland.
And today, Libyan intelligence officials accused of making this bomb appeared in federal court in the U.S. On December 21st, 1988, the plane had taken off from London Heathrow Airport and was en route to JFK here in New York. After just 38 minutes in the air, a bomb in the forward cargo area exploded as the flight was over Lockerbie, Scotland.
259 people on board the plane were killed, 11 on the ground. Nearly 200 of the people on the plane were Americans. CBS 2's Alice Gaynor is here now with more on this court appearance that happened today in Washington. Alice?
That's right, Dana and Christine. Though this marks the third person charged in connection with the attack, he's the first to appear in an American courtroom. The U.S. Justice Department did not disclose how he was taken into U.S. custody. For the families of those killed,
I wasn't sure if, within my lifetime, we would be able to see the day.
A significant milestone in the pursuit of justice 34 years later.
A quiet night in a Scottish village shattered.
It was just 4 days before Christmas 1988 when PanAM Flight 103 exploded over Lockerbie, Scotland.
He looked at the day that he was coming home as, what a great day that was going to be. And that part always gets me.
Kara Weep's brother, Rick Minetti of South Jersey, was one of 35 Syracuse University students killed on that flight as they were returning from a semester abroad. A total of 259 people on board were killed, so too were 11 people on the ground. The crime scene spanned more than 840 square miles. Investigators pieced together fragments of the jet, leading to parts of a cassette recorder packed with explosives. The accused bomb maker, Libyan national Abu Aguila Muhammad Massoud. The Justice Department announced charges against him 2 years ago, citing a confession he made to Libyan authorities back in 2012, as well as his travel records, which allegedly tied him to the crime. At the time, Massoud was in Libyan custody. Another Libyan, Abdel Basset al-Megrahi, was convicted in 2001 and imprisoned in Scotland, but was released on compassionate grounds due to terminal cancer 8 years later. He claimed innocence until his 2012 death. Stephanie Bernstein's husband, Jericho Long Island native Michael, was also on the flight.
It's some measure of justice and satisfaction that somebody who was so critical in the murders of our loved ones is going to be held accountable.
A third man was also accused in the bombing, but was later acquitted in a Scottish court. Christine and Dana?
Alice, thank you. And now to some more information on how this bombing impacted security in the 1990s. 103 days after the bombing, relatives and friends of victims met with then-President Bush to request an investigation into how the U.S. government handled terrorist warnings. Then, in May of 1990, the president's commission issued a report describing lapses in security to initiate change. It had over 60 recommendations that formed the basis for the Aviation Security Improvement Amendment Act of 1990. Then in October of that year, the Senate unanimously passed that act. Among those recommendations, it included expanding new technology to detect explosives, required annual reports on transportation threats, and directed standards for airport design to maximize security. Coming up later at 6 tonight, we will hear from a New Jersey